Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee and this is Randy, and we are here at Frederick County Animal Control with some adoptable pets. Our first guest this morning is a miniature pinscher, elderly, probably 10 to 12 years old. We don't know because as a stray, we take a guess based on their teeth and the gray around the muzzle, body condition. Very energetic, friendly dog. Nails are nice and short, so probably was someone's pet. And hopefully we will find the owner. But if not, this little guy is going to need a new home, and we have named him Guinness for the time being. And he is already neutered. So he would be ready for adoption as soon as we determine that there's no way we can find his previous owner. Such a nice, friendly dog. You would imagine that the owner is looking for him. But as you all know, we get about 5,000 animals a year, and only about 10%, a little less than 10% actually, are reclaimed overall, but 13% of dogs. So a high number of dogs for us go back to their owner. But many, many of the dogs that end up here as strays do not end up being reclaimed. So if you have been interested in getting a min pin and have the big heart it takes to adopt an older dog, then you should consider coming in and meeting Guinness. And as you can see, although the time that you get to have an older dog is not as long as with a younger dog, you certainly benefit from the advantages of good manners and training and experience with people that will make it easy to adopt a dog into a family with a minimum of training. So if you think that Guinness would be right for you, come by the shelter, meet him, talk to us, and if you don't see the pet you want, then we have a wish list feature, so we will help make a match. We are back with Grace, and Grace is a hound mix puppy. And one of the things Randy said on his way in here is that she's like walking with a mobile obstacle course. So one of the definite upsides of having a puppy is how much energy they have, how fun they are to teach, everything about the world, which you do have to do. They need to find out about umbrellas and wheelchairs and everything that's going to face them in their lifetime in a few short months so that they'll be prepared for that. But the downside obviously is lots of energy, and you need to have lots of energy to keep up with her. We do get a fair number of puppies in the shelter, probably about 200 a year, and we take 4 applications for each puppy and try to make the best match we can with someone that has plenty of dog experience and knows what they're getting into. A lot of people do buy and adopt puppies and want to return them to the kennel or breeder from whence they came. So we try to prevent that by preparing you for things like house training and chew training, and now she's being an angel. So she also is going to be someone's delightful companion as soon as she learns all the things that she needs to learn. So if you think that you are ready for a youngster, we have many puppies in the shelter between 6 months and a year old, and that is probably their most challenging age, but a great time for you to introduce them to everything that they need to know about, since they've had their shots and are able to handle going out and about without getting scared and traumatized by the small things that frighten a tinier puppy. So if you think a puppy is in your future, please come by the shelter and let us help you out with that.
You don't know the clicking thing yet, do you?
We are back with yet another puppy. This is Carly, or Pup Pup, and she is 8 months old. She is part Pomeranian and part pug, and she was a breeder, bred her on purpose, that mixture, and adopted her out to someone who kept her for 2 weeks and then brought her back to the breeder saying that they didn't want her. And as we've talked about before, puppies are challenging, and sometimes when you see such a cute face, you don't realize whether you are able and willing to do everything the puppy needs while you're sitting here looking at her beautiful curiosity. Seems like, how could this be complicated? I'll just take her home and it'll all work out. But we do know of many puppies that are returned because once people get home, they realize they don't necessarily sleep 8 hours at night, and they don't necessarily sleep when it's dark, and they don't necessarily wait until 9 a.m. to be walked. So it is a challenge to have a puppy, and you really do need to supervise them 24/7 or work on crate training temporarily until they're adults and can handle it. So Carly was then adopted here from the shelter, and after 6 days, her owner brought her back and said she wants to be outside all the time. She didn't seem to have a lot of attraction for him and interest in him, so he decided not to keep her. And one of the things about an 8-month-old puppy that has 3 homes, 4 actually if you count the shelter, which to her is a perfectly good home, is that they don't know that you're any different. So you really are going to have to put in about 30 days for her to know that she is welcome to stay, and for her to bond with you and to understand that she's going to be part of a family. So if you think that Carly would be a good match for you or someone you know, please come by the shelter or pass her picture around so that people can see her and decide if they are willing to make the commitment to this smart little girl. We are back with Braxton, another puppy. It is puppy land at the shelter. Braxton is everyone's believed ideal puppy. He is a yellow lab, friendly, great dog, likes everybody, but as all puppies, he's going to take a commitment and a lot of energy to get him to the adult dog that we know he can be. Braxton came to us as previously owned, and the reason that his owners didn't keep him, usual puppy problems. The puppy is only 6 months old. He's not yet house trained, which is perfectly normal, but the landlord said, that's it. He's not house trained, he can't stay. So Braxton is here and he needs a new home. He has been around kids. He's very excited about seeing kids and good with them. So if you think that you want a yellow lab, then what you need to do is take up jogging, which means get up at 5 o'clock every morning and go jogging for 1 hour, then go to work and see how you feel. If you feel great, then Braxton is the dog for you because he's going to be able to go jogging with you every morning. He won't mind getting up at 5. He won't mind staying up till midnight. So you need to be ready. Of course, he'll take a nap in the afternoon while you're at work. So he'll feel great. If you think that you are up for a puppy like Braxton, please come by the shelter because, as you noticed from today's episode, we have lots of puppies. We are back with another puppy, 8 months old. Obviously, there's a trend here that when puppies are 8 months old, and they eat your thumb, when puppies are 8 months old, they become a challenge for the average family. If you work for 8 hours a day, and you would like to sleep for 8 hours a day, and you have kids' homework and dinner to prepare and clean up after, and obviously you would like to eat some yourself, kids' activities that you may have, there really is only about 45 minutes left in the day that you can dedicate to a dog unless you are able to give up on some of your sleep or give up on some of the other activities that you have. So Smiles is yet another 8-month-old dog. He's obviously a pit bull terrier, and he will need the full commitment of any puppy owner, plus a little bit more because he's so big. So at 8 months old, the same age as many of the other puppies you just met, he's stronger and bigger and more active and wants to do something. So I would recommend getting in a puppy class and enrolling in, there's a new activity for dogs called nose work. You can check that out on the internet, and it really helps them to think and concentrate and get some impulse control, which he definitely needs. He's looking at Jennifer in the window, somebody that he knows very well. So if you think that Smiles is right for you or any of the puppies you've met today or some other puppy that you dream of, let us know and we will try to make that match for you. We will be back after a short break with some tranquil, zen, wonderful adoptable cats for you to meet.
Hello, my name is Doug Warner, and I serve as Director of Volunteer Fire and Rescue Service for Frederick County. I've been a volunteer with the Vigilant Hose Company in Emmitsburg, Maryland since 1972. Why do I think it would be a good opportunity for you to become a volunteer? It's a great way to meet new people, learn new skills, and also you can receive college credits for some of the training that you receive. And there's always that reward of hearing a special thank you or a smile on somebody's face whenever you've saved a life or helped them in some way, shape, or form. For more information on becoming a volunteer, visit our website, stop by one of our 26 stations throughout Frederick County, or give me a call at the office. I'll be glad to assist you in becoming a volunteer. Look forward to seeing you at one of the stations in the near future.
Hey, look at that large group of paddlers over there.
Yeah, that's that Parks and Rec group again. Nice bunch. They're out here all summer. They do trips on the Monocacy and the Potomac.
They sure look like they're having a good time.
That's probably because the staff is so helpful and informative. Anybody can go on those trips.
Well, what am I doing out here with you then?
I don't know. Neither of us can swim, and you keep sticking me with that hook. Hey, what are you doing? You gonna flip the... Oh!
Oh, man.
If you're concerned that there is a party taking place where there's underage drinking or drugs being used, or that you've heard that a party is going to take place, there's a tip line that you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's 301-600-1318.
We are back with Sabrina. Sabrina is a medium-haired cat, tortoiseshell in color. She's about 3 or 4 years old, and she was previously owned for her whole life in the same home. And then while she was in foster care, we found out that she gets along with other adult cats. So if you already have a cat and you are interested in adopting a second, then Sabrina might be a good match for you. She's also a lovely cat because of her longish hair. She has this very long hair coming out of her ears and her tail, and her markings are very pretty. She has little speckles on her toes. And she is handling quite well that we have a bird off camera and a mouse off camera, and that is not overwhelming her hunting instincts at the moment. So she seems to be a delightful companion cat and possibly the right cat for you. If you think Sabrina is a good match for you, remember that we are open late on Wednesdays and Thursdays till 8. Of course, we're here on Saturdays till 4 and every other weekday as well. We are back with Sierra, and Sierra is also a tortoiseshell cat, also a female. She's only 2 or 3 years old, and her color is also tortoiseshell, but hers is gray and cream as opposed to black and orange because she's called dilute tortoiseshell, if that kind of genetic information about cat colors interests you. She also has shorter whiskers on her right side than on her left, so it looks like she might have touched something hot with her whiskers, and of course they'll shed and grow back just like all hair does. She is also a previously owned cat, so we have some information about her past and who she's lived with. And she has a totally different feeling about our bird that's off camera, and that is important to know about cats when you adopt, in case you have birds in a cage or hamsters or mice or some other pet. You want to find the cat that is best matched for the living situation that you're going to offer to make things easy on yourself. Certainly you can teach a cat and other pets to coexist. You can do so with baby gates and keeping small animals in a room with a closed door. Obviously you have to be diligent if there's any interest or risk, but it's much easier if you choose a pet that's already suited to the way that you want to live, and we can help you with that. So if you think that Sierra would be a good match for you, then please come by the shelter and meet her, or share her picture on Pet Finder around with people who might like her. We are back with Ray, a 2 to 3 year old female black and white cat who also came to us as a stray. And for any of you who come here frequently, we named her after Ray, who works in the front office. And shortly after coming here, she developed what we think is an allergy to her plastic dishes. So she eats out of ceramic or metal bowls now, and it's resolving. It's a common allergy in Persian cats, the sensitivity, I should say, to plastic dishes. So we recommend with all cats that you use ceramic or metal whenever you can. And I don't think that that means that Ray is part Persian, but perhaps that is in her history and we just don't know. She has noticed our bird that's off camera. She is not trying to go over there. But again, when you're choosing a cat to match your family, you want to think about who already lives with you and how you can pick a cat that's going to fit in the best with the way that you want to live. If you think that Ray would be a nice match for you or someone that you know, please come by the shelter and meet her and get to know her and see if she's the one. This is Maya. She is a domestic short-hair brown tabby, about 8 months old, probably one of the last kittens from last season. We do expect in April and May to have a large number of very young kittens, so we would very much like to find Maya a home as soon as possible so that she doesn't get looked over once the tiny kittens are here. She is a typical tabby cat, but on her side you can see that her stripes are so separate that they're almost spots in places. So she's very pretty. She has little white feet as well, and she seems to be an outgoing, normal, curious kitten. So she would need, similar to the commitment people make with puppies, it's not as hard because you don't have to take her jogging for an hour, but she would certainly want to climb on bookcases and maybe on the piano. So you would want to supervise her and train her not to do those things in your house until she settles in and knows the house rules. So if you think that Maya would be a nice match for you or someone that you know, come by the shelter and meet her or pass her picture around on the internet and see if we can make a perfect match. This little green cheek conure was found as a stray. So we are going to try to find his owner. If you know of anyone who lost his or her bird, have them call the shelter. People don't often think about calling the shelter when they lose a pet other than a dog or a cat. In fact, sometimes people don't even know if they've lost a cat or a dog to call the shelter at all. But especially for birds, because they don't commonly suspect that if someone finds one, they would bring them here. Of course, we're the only shelter in Frederick County, so if there's an animal in need, we're one of the places that people who find animals will check with to see what their options are. And the people who found him brought him here. We work with a rescue that takes birds from us to match them in homes if we don't find their owner. So if you are interested in adopting this little green cheek conure, then please let us know at the shelter and we can pass your information on to Phoenix Landing, and they will let you know about adopting a bird, which, as you can see, can be a challenge. They are wild animals, they're not domesticated. So that means that if they are nervous or afraid, they are perfectly likely to bite, unlike dogs and cats who take a lot from people. They are also a little bit of a messy pet. And the reason I say that is because they have to be contained in a cage for a good part of the day so that when you're not supervising them, they don't get hurt in things like ceiling fans or, you know, falling into a pot of water or a sink or something like that. So, but when you let them out with supervision, they also have to be protected from flying into a mirror or window. But the reason that they're messy pets is because they're confined to a cage and they eat fruits, vegetables, some seeds, and some greens. They usually eat their food and spray it all over the area where they are, which is very frequently outside the cage. So if you're a neat freak, a bird might not be the best pet for you, but there are many products sold at pet stores that help out with that. You can buy little fenders for the side of the cage so seeds are less likely to fall out. You can make a little skirt for the cage. There are a bunch of ways that you can make it easier. But you should know that if you get a bird, there's going to be some dust and seeds lying around. and you'll probably have to make friends with your vacuum. So if you think that this little bird, who we don't have a name for yet since he came here as a stray, might be a good match for you, then please call us so we can give your information to Phoenix Landing and get some details about you. We hope that you join us again next time on Pet Pals. You can check out previous episodes at the website below. You can check out all of our adoptable pets on petfinder.com and our county website. And if you are interested in adding any kind of companion animal, please let us know so we can keep an eye out for you. And we'll see you next time.